The Honorable the Minister for Mineral Resources and Energy. Honorable Minister, please start.
Madam Speaker of the National Assembly, Chairperson of the Council of Provinces, National Council of Provinces, His Excellencies, President Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa, Deputy President David Dabete Mabuza, Cabinet colleagues and deputy ministers, honorable members, invited guests in the gallery. The ANC NEC January 8 Statement 2020 nudges us that the fundamental transformation of South African society and the economy requires the effort, ingenuity, and energy of South Africans working together in pursuit of a shared vision. Such ingenuity and energy should be brought to bear in response to the President's State of the Nation address instead of preoccupation with parochial differences. That today, parties to the right and extreme left of the ANC claim our policy is recognition of us being the leader of society and a sign of progress towards building the nation together. We are one people. President highlighted critical interventions by government, that is to build a capable state, to place our economy on the path to recovery, the need to fix the fundamentals, to pursue critical areas of growth, and ensure excellence in governance, planning, and execution. The integration of former Department of Mineral Resources and Energy into one, Mineral Resources and Energy, is purposely aimed at increasing the capacity and capability of the state to drive economic recovery. Mining and energy are catalysts to the economic growth and development. Energy infrastructure underpins economic activity and growth, therefore should be robust, extensive to meet industrial, commercial, and household needs. An unreliable electricity supply is the biggest threat to the economic growth, job creation, and development. 18,000 megawatts of new generation capacity from coal, diesel, renewables, and pump storage has been committed to and used on the grid since IRP 2010. However, intermittent supply deficiency problems persist due to unavailability of bulk of generation plant because of breakdowns. Eskom is unable to reliably meet and peak electricity demand above 31,000 megawatts. According to Eskom, we face at least 2 years minimum of potential load shedding. The President mentioned the following measures we will implement to address energy shortage: procurement of emergency power, the easing of requirement and process for generation for own use, the issuing of Section 34 determinations in line with IRP 2019, enabling municipalities in good financial standing to buy their own power. Now, IRP 2019 provides for additional capacity of 2,000 megawatts and emergency power and 1,500 megawatts from coal, 2,500 megawatts from hydro, 6,000 megawatts from PV, and 14,400 megawatts from wind, and 2,088 megawatts from storage, 3,000 megawatts from gas. That is the fact, not the howling. Those are the facts in the IRP. Read it. Section 34 determinations to implement the IRP 2019 are finalized and await concurrence of NERSA. This will also enable opening of bid windows from renewable power, energy power procurement, and support further investment in the sector. We are a constitutional state. We don't do things haphazard because some DA lobbyists think so. We work systematically within the framework of law. In December 2019, the department released requests for information on power projects that can deliver power to the grid in the shortest period of time on least cost and least regret approach. This has helped us to assess availability of immediately implementable generation options and in commercial terms expected by those projects. We received 481 responses, which include energy supply options and demand-side management options from gas, liquid fuel, coal, renewables, storage, and nuclear. Preliminary analysis is that some proposal can bring power to the grid in less than 24 months. It also suggests that long-term contracting is required to ensure prices do not negatively affect current tariffs. Now, generation for own use. Licensing requirement for generation for own use in certain categories of generation under 1 megawatt are removed. NERSA has received 132 applications in this category, with the total capacity of 59 megawatts. Of these, 75 applications with total capacity of 42 megawatts are approved. The remaining 57 applications with total capacity of 16 megawatts are being processed. On the average, NERSA takes 38 working days to process application for registration. Now, IRP provides for distributed generation for own use above 1 megawatt, removing the requirement for a ministerial approval for deviation from IRP before NERSA processes generation license application. Installed capacity above 1 megawatt is limited. Since May, NERSA has received 18 applications, totaling to 116 megawatts in this category. Most of them are incomplete because they lack power purchase agreements, which is a requirement. Now, as per Electricity Regulation Act, the prescribed licensing process timeline for duly completed application is 120 days. NERSA has committed to urgently process the licensing on duly admitted application. We met and agreed with the Business Unit South Africa, BUSA, and Black Business Council representative to establish a working group led by a Deputy Director General to remove all hurdles and bottlenecks in some energy projects. Now, in the remaining time, Mr. President, to speed the process of addressing power generation deficiencies, municipalities are enabled to buy power from sources other than ESCOM or develop their own power projects for generation of own power. Let me remind you, historically, metropolitans like Johannesburg, Pretoria, Cape Town, and Mangaung, and others had their own generation capacity, largely coal-driven. Advances in distributed generation technology make it viable for municipalities to create own power generation or biopower from projects developed within their jurisdiction. Now, let me, with the 19 minutes remaining, cut the rest. Sovereign Wealth Fund and Specialized Unit of Crime. The President also spoke to Sovereign Wealth Fund and Specialized Units to deal with crime. Many people ask the question, where will money come from? I can tell you that all the mines pay a royalty to the state. It can be used
Honorable
to start
Minister.
the royalty fund.
Your time
Thank you
has
very much.
expired.